People go, oh, that's a Ford. I thought everyone had to buy a Tesla. Look at that Mach-E charging over there. Maybe I should look into that car.
Ford just pulled off a massive win against Elon Musk, and he's not handling it well. This isn't just about electric cars. It's a showdown between an old-school car giant and a tech superstar, with a moment that shook the entire industry. What started as a sneaky rivalry has exploded into an all-out battle. America loves cheering for the underdog, and Ford's stepping up, shouting, "We're the kings of electric trucks and vans." Things just got personal. Ford made a bold move that left Elon fuming, and word is he totally lost his cool.
The reality is America loves an underdog, and we are the market leader for EV trucks.
So, what sparked this drama? And why is it happening now? Get ready. The electric vehicle world just got wild. Ford, the classic carmaker, is making a comeback nobody saw coming. They're not just keeping up with Tesla, they're speeding past them. Before we dive deeper, hit that subscribe button to stay in the loop on all things tech. For years, Tesla ruled the EV game, making every other car company look like they were stuck in the Stone Age. But guess what? Ford, the dinosaur, didn't just survive. They leveled up. And now, they're stealing the spotlight. It all kicked off with a name you already know, the F-150 Lightning. This wasn't just a clever ad campaign. It was Ford taking America's favorite pickup truck, a bestseller for over 40 years, and giving it an electric makeover. No fancy spaceship vibes here, no strange doors or weird steering wheels. Just a solid truck that can haul your boat, power your house, and get you to work without breaking a sweat. Built for real people, doing real things. Then, Ford dropped another surprise, the Mustang Mach-E. They took the iconic Mustang name and turned it into a sleek electric SUV. Some hardcore fans weren't sure about it, but guess what? People loved it. It was fast, eco-friendly, and didn't feel like you were settling for less. While Tesla fans were busy arguing about panel gaps and software glitches, Ford was quietly rolling out vehicles that just worked. No tinkering needed, straight from the dealership. Behind the scenes, Ford's boss, Jim Farley, was making some seriously smart moves. He knew Ford couldn't out-Tesla with cutting-edge tech, so he didn't even try. Instead, he played to Ford's strengths, years of experience building trucks, SUVs, and vans for workers, families, and businesses. Plus, Ford had something startups could only dream of: huge factories ready to churn out EVs at scale. While other companies were begging for computer chips and suppliers, Ford was transforming its plants into EV-making machines. The game-changer, the F-150 Lightning, started outselling Tesla's Cybertruck before the Cybertruck even hit the streets. While Elon Musk was showing off prototypes and smashing armored glass for attention, Ford was handing out keys to real customers. Electric trucks weren't just a cool idea anymore. They were showing up at construction sites and driveways. Ford also thought bigger than just building cars. They saw the real problem: charging. In a move that left everyone stunned, Ford teamed up with Tesla to let its customers use Tesla's supercharger network. It looked like a friendly handshake, but it was a genius strategy. Ford didn't have to build its own charging stations from scratch. They just tapped into Tesla's. Talk about working smarter, not harder. And here's the best part. People are noticing Ford again. Not because of some wild stunt or viral video, but because they're making vehicles people actually want. No techie buzzwords or gimmicks, just cars and trucks that get the job done. Ford's electric vehicles were hitting the mark. Trucks, vans, and SUVs that worked for everyone, from contractors to soccer moms to delivery drivers. And the car world? It couldn't stop talking about it. Suddenly, Ford was being mentioned alongside Tesla, something nobody would have believed a few years ago. For the first time in forever, Tesla wasn't the only name stealing the EV spotlight. Over in Europe, Ford was making moves too, launching cool electric crossovers like the Puma Gen and setting big plans to take on Chinese EV brands, all while keeping their classic lineup strong and quietly improving their EV tech behind the scenes. You could feel the energy. Ford wasn't just keeping up, they were charging forward. While Elon Musk was busy hyping robotaxis and self-driving dreams, Ford was doing something simpler, delivering real vehicles to real people. But here's where things get juicy. As Ford's EVs started making waves, the vibe between Ford and Tesla got spicy. Behind the polite press releases and fake smiles, the rivalry was heating up. Ford was done playing nice, and let's just say, someone wasn't happy about it. How personal did it get? Oh, the drama's just getting started. Think superchargers, sneaky moves, and unexpected partnerships. Then came a bombshell nobody saw coming. Ford and Tesla teamed up. In 2023, Ford's CEO Jim Farley hopped on a live stream with Elon Musk to drop a shocker. Ford's EVs would get access to Tesla's supercharger network. At first, it looked like the two rivals were playing nice, but dig a little deeper, and it was more like a strategic handshake before a big fight. Tesla's supercharger network was its secret weapon, fast, reliable, and way better than the spotty third-party chargers out there. By letting Ford drivers in, Tesla was sharing a piece of its castle. Or was it? Farley called it a win for Ford customers. And he was right. This was a brilliant shortcut. Instead of spending years and billions building their own charging stations, Ford just plugged into Tesla's network. It wasn't flashy, but it was smart. And for Tesla, it was a quiet signal. Ford was playing to win. Elon Musk put on a big smile for the cameras. He tweeted his usual mix of cheers and emojis, acting like the Ford-Tesla partnership was all good vibes. But behind closed doors, things weren't so sunny. Word is, Tesla's team was divided. Some thought the deal was a step forward. Others worried it could bite them later. Every time a Ford plugged into a Tesla supercharger, Tesla's cool kid status took a tiny hit. And don't think it was all warm fuzzies between the bosses either. Ford's CEO, Jim Farley, played it polite, but threw some shade. In interviews, he mentioned how Ford's EVs were battle-tested in real life, not just on a computer screen. Was it a subtle dig at Tesla? Oh, you bet it was. Even with this team-up over charging stations, the rivalry was hotter than ever. Ford was sneaking onto Tesla's turf, and using Tesla's own chargers to do it. Tesla didn't have Ford's massive factories or century of experience building vehicles for everyday folks. While Tesla struggled with supply shortages and big promises, Ford's well-oiled machine was roaring back to life. This wasn't just about chargers, it was about who gets to be the EV king. When Ford joined the supercharger network, they sent a loud message. We're not just catching up, we're coming for your customers, and we're moving fast. Even buyers started to notice. Truck drivers who wouldn't go near a Tesla were suddenly checking out Ford's EVs. Why? Because they looked like trucks, worked like trucks, and now charged like Teslas. That flipped the game in a flash. But this partnership also stirred up some awkward vibes. Elon Musk loved being the rebel, the guy shaking up the car world. Now, he was teaming up with Ford, one of the old-school companies he used to make fun of for being dinosaurs. Sharing his tech with them? That's a plot twist even Musk didn't see coming. Jim Farley kept it smooth in interviews, giving Tesla a nod for their engineering, while casually reminding everyone that Ford was a pro at building tons of vehicles. something Tesla still found tricky. When asked about the Tesla charging deal, he just shrugged, said it was good for everyone, and moved on like it was no big deal. Classic business move, but deep down, this deal was bugging Elon Musk. Not because it was a bad idea, but because it showed the game was changing. Ford, the old-school car maker, was now playing in Tesla's pool, and they were swimming laps. Tesla's special sauce was starting to lose its edge, and if Musk wasn't rattled yet, he was about to be. This shaky partnership was just the warm-up for a much bigger showdown, the Cybertruck face-off. Tesla's Cybertruck was supposed to be a game-changer, a futuristic steel-plated monster that looked like it rolled out of a sci-fi flick. Musk hyped it up big time. Bulletproof glass, crazy speed, and power to outdo any truck on the road. The buzz was huge, but so was the pressure. Ford, meanwhile, played it quiet until they dropped a bombshell, the F-150 Lightning. This wasn't just another electric truck. It was a bold move. No over-the-top promises or flashy stunts. Just a modern electric version of the F-150, the truck America had trusted for decades. It could haul, tow, even power your house during a blackout. Best of all, you didn't need to explain it. It was the same reliable F-150, just without the gas pump. Ford's strategy was clear. They weren't chasing cool points or social media likes. They were building for real life. Construction sites, farms, families who needed a truck that worked, not just one that looked wild online. Then, in a 2023 interview, Farley threw some serious shade. When asked about the Cybertruck, he grinned and said, "That's for Silicon Valley, folks. We're making trucks for real people who do real work." Ouch! That hit hard. Tesla fans jumped online to defend the Cybertruck's futuristic look and specs, but the sales numbers didn't lie. The F-150 Lightning was flying off lots, while the Cybertruck was still mostly hype. Ford had something people could actually drive, and they were loving it. Tesla kept delaying the Cybertruck, blaming supply chain snags, production hiccups, and last-minute design changes. Even Elon Musk admitted, "We kinda shot ourselves in the foot with this one." Ford didn't need to rub it in, but they totally did. In slick ads and bold statements, Ford showed off the F-150 Lightning doing real work, hauling heavy loads, powering tools on job sites, even helping out during disasters. Meanwhile, Musk was still hyping the Cybertruck's apocalypse mode and sci-fi vibes. One company was selling a flashy lifestyle, the other was selling a truck that actually got stuff done. By late 2024, the Cybertruck finally started hitting the streets, but it was a bumpy ride. Early models had issues, wonky windshield wipers, misaligned panels, and more memes than you could count. Remember that bulletproof glass that shattered in a demo? Yeah, they had to quietly fix that too. Then came a recall for a stuck accelerator pedal that could get jammed if you pressed too hard. Not exactly the indestructible vibe Tesla promised. Ford's CEO, Jim Farley, stayed classy in public, but behind the scenes, insiders say he was loving it. At one team meeting, when they compared Cybertruck complaints to glowing Lightning reviews, Farley reportedly cracked. They wanted a sci-fi movie. We gave them a toolbox. Savage. It wasn't just about what the trucks could do anymore. Tesla's Cybertruck started feeling like a niche toy. Super cool, but maybe too cool. Was it a workhorse or just a gadget for tech bros? Ford, on the other hand, built something familiar and reliable, with just enough innovation to feel fresh. Elon wasn't about to let Ford have the last word. He hit back on X, firing off cryptic tweets, throwing shade, and sharing a video claiming the Cybertruck out-towed an F-150. But eagle-eyed viewers noticed the Ford in the video wasn't even the electric Lightning. It was a gas-powered model. Oops, not a great look. And here's where it got juicy. This wasn't just about trucks or sales numbers anymore. The Ford-Tesla showdown had turned personal. Every sly comment from Ford's Jim Farley hit Tesla like a punch. Every Cybertruck hiccup got blown up big time. The media? They were eating it up. Ford versus Tesla was the new epic showdown, like Coke versus Pepsi, but with electric trucks, huge egos, and billions of dollars on the line. This wasn't just about building better pickups. It was a battle for America's roads. The winner would own a massive piece of the electric vehicle future. And right now, Ford wasn't just keeping up. They were taking over territory Elon Musk thought he'd already won. But the real drama was still coming. While the Cybertruck was struggling to shine, something else was stirring. A leaked comment, a secret insult, something said behind closed doors. When it reached Elon, he didn't brush it off. He flipped out. And that's when things got really heated. For years, Tesla ruled the electric vehicle world like untouchable champs. Every quarter, they smashed sales records, and Wall Street treated Elon Musk like a rock star. But the car industry loves knocking giants down a peg. And by 2025, the score was starting to shift. The trouble started in early 2024, when Tesla's sales dipped for the first time in over a decade. It was just a tiny drop, 1.1% less than the year before. But for a company used to skyrocketing numbers, it felt like a warning siren. Tesla sold 1.81 million vehicles in 2023. But in 2024, only 1.79 million. Still huge, but that unstoppable vibe was fading. Meanwhile, Ford was hitting its stride. The F-150 Lightning was crushing it as the top electric truck, and the Mustang Mach-E was sneaking away customers from Tesla's SUVs. Over in Europe, Ford launched the Puma Gen E, a practical, affordable electric crossover perfect for city drivers. It wasn't a showstopper, but it was reliable, fairly priced, and didn't break the bank to produce. Sales climbed, reviews were great, and Ford was making it look easy. Tesla, though, was hitting roadblocks, especially in China and Europe. Cheaper electric cars from brands like BYD were flooding those markets, offering lower prices and stealing Tesla's thunder. In Europe, Tesla's sales in January 2025 tanked by a jaw-dropping 45% compared to the year before. That wasn't a bump in the road, it was a nosedive. Elon pointed fingers at global economic issues and temporary demand drops. But investors weren't buying it. They were getting nervous. Back in the US, Ford's game plan was paying off big time. They didn't care about being the flashiest. They focused on being the most practical. And guess what? It was working. Big businesses, government agencies, and utility companies were all picking Ford. The e-Transit van became a go-to for delivery companies, and the F-150 Lightning proved it could handle emergencies like a champ. These weren't spur-of-the-moment purchases. They were serious, long-term deals. And that had Tesla sweating. While Ford was busy making practical vehicles people could actually use, Tesla was chasing futuristic dreams, self-driving robotaxis, AI-powered cars, and big promises about software upgrades. In October 2024, Tesla threw a splashy event to show off the Cybercab, a sleek driverless car meant to take on Uber and Lyft. It looked cool, but the details? Missing. No launch date, no price tag, no clue how it'd work in cities with strict rules. Investors weren't impressed, and Tesla's stock dropped 7.5% the next day. Ford's CEO, Jim Farley, kept his eyes on the prize. He didn't chase flashy headlines. He focused on making great vehicles, keeping customers happy, and making money. In early 2025, during a Ford earnings call, Farley dropped a subtle jab. You've got to keep your products fresh and competitive. Let them get old, and you're in trouble. He didn't mention Tesla, but everyone knew who he was talking about. The vibe was shifting, and Tesla could feel it. They weren't the scrappy underdog anymore. They were the ones everyone was gunning for. Ford and other old-school car makers weren't acting like slow dinosaurs either. They were fast, hungry, and knew how to crank out vehicles in huge numbers. The stock market noticed too. Ford's stock climbed steadily in early 2025, with experts praising their EV strategy and smart growth. Tesla's stock, once untouchable, started to wobble. Elon's wild social media posts, Cybertruck recalls, and vague promises about new products didn't help. The biggest game changer? Regular drivers stopped seeing Tesla as the only EV option. They started shopping around, and Ford was ready with reliable, available vehicles. For the first time in years, Tesla wasn't calling the shots. They were playing catch-up. The tension was building, but the real fireworks were still to come. Behind the slick earnings calls and polite interviews, things were getting heated in private. In quiet executive meetings and backstage green rooms, the rivalry between Ford's Jim Farley and Tesla's Elon Musk was ready to explode. In public, Farley and Musk kept it civil. Never best buds, but respectful enough. They were two CEOs navigating a massive shift in the car world. But off-camera, the vibes were intense. Every forced handshake and careful soundbite crackled with unspoken competition. Farley, with his calm, Midwestern charm, didn't seem like the type to start drama. But he had a knack for sneaky, sharp comments that hit hard if you paid attention. He'd give Tesla props for their tech, then smoothly point out that Ford tested their vehicles in the real world, on actual roads, with real drivers. "We don't rely on beta testers," he once said on TV, with a sly smile. No names mentioned, none needed. Oof, that was aimed right at Tesla. Elon, for his part, played it cool in public. He'd toss out a meme, tweet a single word, or post a vague photo that might have been a jab at Farley. But if you looked closely, you could see the fire in his eyes, especially as Ford's sales started catching up to Tesla's. One moment stood out. Back in late 2022, Elon gave Ford a rare shout-out on X, tweeting, "Only Ford and Tesla never went bankrupt." It sounded like a compliment, but it had a sting, like he was saying, "Yeah, Ford's still around, but we're the real stars." Classic Elon. Jim Farley didn't clap back when Elon Musk tweeted about Ford and Tesla being the only car makers to avoid bankruptcy. But later, in an interview when asked about their relationship, he kept it sly. "We've got mutual respect. We text sometimes." He usually replies. Polite? Sure. But notice he didn't say they were pals, just that Elon answers his messages. There were moments when the two seemed to get along. When Tesla let Ford EVs use its supercharger network, Farley gave Elon a public shout-out, praising Tesla's tech and how it helped customers. He even thanked Tesla for sharing their new 48-volt electrical design with the industry, posting, "Appreciate Tesla's leadership on this." It looked like a classy move, but some insiders whispered Ford didn't even need the help. They were already working on their own version. The post? Just a clever way to look friendly, while plotting to steal the crown. Behind closed doors, Tesla's engineers weren't happy about this team-up. They felt sharing the supercharger network gave away Tesla's secret sauce. Why help Ford catch up when their charging stations were a big reason Tesla stood out? Elon shrugged it off, saying it was all about pushing electric vehicles for everyone. But as Ford kept gaining ground, that excuse started sounding like he was trying to save face. Here's the deal. Tesla had never faced a rival like Ford. Newcomers like Rivian and Lucid were too small to matter, and other big car makers like GM were moving too slowly. Ford, though? They were a real threat, and the gap was closing fast. Ford wasn't just any rival. They had big factories, a famous name, and now, serious momentum. That made them a real threat, and Jim Farley knew exactly how to play it. In public, he kept things cool and professional. But behind closed doors, insiders say he was way more blunt. During Ford meetings, he'd call Tesla the loud ones, and even reportedly joked, "They sell more drama than cars." True or not, that line spread like gossip at a car show. By early 2025, the so-called peace between Ford and Tesla was falling apart. This wasn't just about sales or ads anymore, it was personal. Farley and Musk were like boxers trading sneaky punches, all while pretending to be polite. You could feel the heat in every news story, every analyst call, every clever jab. Then, out of nowhere, one comment lit the fuse. It didn't happen on a podcast or a tweet. It was in a private Ford meeting, off camera, totally unscripted. A line that was never meant to leak. But it did. And when it reached Elon Musk, he didn't just shrug it off, he went nuclear. Here's what went down. In April 2025, a leaked report revealed the moment things hit a breaking point. During a big strategy meeting at Ford's headquarters, Farley was talking about Ford's EV plans and how they were ready to stand on their own, without leaning on Tesla's charging network. Then he allegedly dropped a bombshell. "Tell Elon we said, 'Screw you, we're done following him.'" That quote was supposed to stay in the room, but it didn't. Someone shared it with a Tesla executive, and within 48 hours, it reached Elon. Insiders say when he heard it, he completely lost it. The Ford-Tesla rivalry had just gone from tense to all-out war. When Elon Musk heard Jim Farley's leaked comment, he didn't just get mad, he went full-on furious. A Tesla board member called it deeply personal. Elon canceled meetings, stormed out of a product review, and told his team Ford had gone too far. "It's not just business anymore," an insider said. Elon felt betrayed. He thought they were at least teammates in the EV revolution. The fallout hit fast. Tesla slammed the brakes on sharing tech details about their charging systems with Ford. The once friendly vibe between the companies turned ice cold. Executives stopped showing up at the same events, and any plans for joint appearances? Cancelled. Ford, though? They didn't blink. When reporters asked about the leaked quote in a private chat, a Ford exec just smirked and said, "We're not here to stroke egos, we're building trucks." Boom! Online, people went wild. Phrases like, "Ford wipes the floor with Elon Musk," and "Musk completely loses it," started trending. Ford, once laughed at as an old-school car maker stuck in the past, was now outsmarting Tesla in the ways that mattered, building vehicles, earning trust, and winning customers. Was Farley's bold comment a calculated power play, or just him letting off steam? Either way, one thing was crystal clear. The days of playing nice were over. Elon wasn't just angry, he was shaken. So, here's the big question. Has Ford finally knocked Tesla off its throne? Or is Elon Musk about to come roaring back with his biggest move yet?